Pool, Glenn Hancock. Painter Rex, Hug Aviation. Just Plain Silly, Captain Baja. Mark Payton, Mark and Polly, Mike Payton, Nancy Bradshaw. Par for the Course. Red Devil Squadron, Sarah Rovner. Super Cub, Dan Milliken from Taking Off. Dan and Christy, come on up. Unusual Attitudes, Zero Tree Delta. Come on, jump in there. There's your 2020 active participants right there.
I was recently invited to this fly-in called the ACCAs, which on the surface seemed like a perfectly normal fly-in. I even uploaded a couple of videos from it. But behind the scenes, there was actually a little bit more going on. It wasn't quite as innocent as it might have seemed. Let me see if I can explain that to you. So I departed Texas in my Grumman, headed for Stearman Field in Benton, Kansas. It was about a 2-hour flight. Everything was normal. I landed my plane, and I was excited to meet some old friends and hopefully make some new ones as well. Once I stepped out of the plane, everything changed. As soon as I got out of the plane, I was approached by these two guys. That's right, it was the Best Hugs guys. They kept trying to sell me hugs, but as I told them, I draw the line at first base, gentlemen. You're going to have to find somebody else. I know on the surface it just looks like the Paties hanging out at a fly-in, but I also happen to know that only one of them's real. Mark actually built Mike in a lab, and both were sent here by the FAA to stop me from making more videos. I left the situation as quickly as I could to try and find a friendly face.
We're here at the ACCA thing with all these awesome planes, all these awesome YouTubers, and Christy. And
I found my friend Christy, and she said she had a surprise guest she wanted me to meet. I was happy to go because I know she's not a robot, she's not an FAA spy, she's just a normal pilot like myself with nothing to hide.
Martin Polly with an E.
that's right, I saw you were in the AOPA magazine, or somebody was.
Is it socially acceptable? I'm happy.
Okay,
I'll make an exception.
There you go.
we don't have to talk, I'll shake your hand. Yeah, whatever.
Oh my God.
This, in German, this is way more meaningful than a hug.
Okay, well, here we go.
In hindsight, I know this isn't really my friend Martin Polly. In fact, if we switch some letters in his name, we can see his cyborg call sign, Platinum Ray. Upon touching elbows, some switch was flipped, and I started to get a really bad feeling. At that moment, a voice in my head said, "Run." Before I knew it, I'd stolen an airplane in an attempt to leave the fly-in. After that, it all just went downhill. I hadn't realized it, but this plane had a young kid living in the back of it. But yep, there he is. Also, it seems I'd stolen the slowest airplane known to man. And believe me, I know slow planes. I wasn't sure what I was going to do next, but quickly the decision was made for me. The plane malfunctioned and caught fire. I had to turn back, had to get it on the ground as quickly as possible and come up with another plan. Plane and got out and started looking for something that was faster. That plane wasn't going to cut it, but something around here had to be quicker. And then I saw it. That's the plane right there. That's the one I need. It's fast and it's not on fire. I hung out here for a few minutes and fortunately the pilot landed and I guess he had to take a leak and he left the engines running while the plane was on the ramp. I took my opportunity and before I knew it, I was speeding down the runway. So I was able to get the plane airborne, and I pointed it towards Texas. And while I'd never flown a twin-engine plane before, I have flown 2 single-engine planes, so it's the same. In all the commotion of charging the cockpit, somehow I managed to not realize this plane was actually full of people. In fact, there was a whole nother pilot. I don't know how I missed that. When I looked back in the cabin, I knew something wasn't right. The FAA had filled the plane with YouTubers. It was just their way of keeping cameras around to watch my every move. Well played, FAA. Most of these people back here aren't even real. They're robots and government spies disguised as famous YouTubers. Look, Juan Brown from Blanco Lirio. Doesn't even look real. Matt from Unusual Attitudes, right. I've seen more realistic people at the Wax Museum. Bearhawk Life doesn't even look real. I decided to sit in the back and play along, even though I know all these people were here to prevent me from making this video. I'm sure you think I'm paranoid and I'm making this all up, but just look at this photo. Look at these guys. Robot, fembot, Physdo agent, cyborgs, transformer, android, FAA spy, all designed to look like aviation content creators. What about this guy? He calls himself Redneck Pilot? Yeah, doesn't take much to reveal his true identity. That's right, Pickle Rodent. That's not a robot name, nothing is. And if you need proof, later that night I snapped a photo when no one was looking of Corey Robin plugged into his charger. At any rate, the sun had started to set, and it was obvious I wasn't going to get out of here that night, so I decided I would go ahead and play along. Let's meet some of the other agents and spies that I met that evening.
I am with Josh via someone's phone, and he's a deadly unsafe SR-22 pilot. Email me, brian@worldsgreatestpilot.com, and I'll send you, you're going to need this Physdo, get out of the Physdo free card, and I'll pre-punch it a couple times because you're going to go, buddy. And I'm sorry, what's your name? Isabella, thank you for letting me meet Josh. Now, when you say you love watching me, you mean more than, I don't know, Martin Pauly, Josh Flowers. Anyway, so that's the after party starting. This is Fly Alyssa. What do you got going on? What's next in your life?
Glider training, my commercial license, and the Yak 52.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, we'll be looking forward to it. Connor from Wyoming is here. Connor goes, do you have one of these giant magnets of your logo? And I said, you know what? I got one. It's probably not going to show up well.
Hey, wait, what's one word that you can use to describe this channel?
Quality.
Hashtag quality.
I don't deserve that. Thank you very much, Connor. So these guys are hangarettes.
We are. Go fly yourself.
So this is the guy that made this whole thing happen. We're going to do this again next year, right?
Yeah, we are.
But not the same weekend as Oshkosh.
It's going to be cooler.
Yeah.
It's going to be cooler.
Once the party was over and everybody was asleep, that's when I made my move. With a few beers in my belly and the ADS-B switched off, I sped down 17 into the dark sky. As I lifted off, I started to think back on the event. As it turns out, I actually had a pretty good time. In spite of the cover-ups, murder plots, and the cyborg army assembled by the FAA trying to stop me, I really did enjoy myself. Just getting to see so many different planes was really awesome. And it wasn't just the planes. Getting to meet all these different people was pretty incredible.
I'm sorry, what is your name? Vanessa, and what is your name? Chris. Chris and Vanessa. Are we hugging? I'll hug you, but you just fist bump. Okay. Whatever.
That's all good.
All of the people that came out to this event were amazing. The kids, Luke and Katie, were awesome. These locals, Vanessa and Chris, that came out to see some of us. I got a chance to fly Natalie, Kelly, and my Grumman, which was awesome. Catching up with my friend Brian Wallstrom from the Experimental Aircraft channel. The list goes on. What's not to love about hanging out with Platinum Ray and, of course, Pickle Rodent. The Pades, Jonathan Chrisman, Paul Prudhoe, Jesper Hoken, Wolf Pilot, Hug Aviation. The list goes on and on and on, and it was absolutely awesome. Despite all these people trying to kill me, I kind of missed it. I think No, I'll definitely go back next year.
And here's a word from Brian Turner.
Before I say anything, are any of you guys with the FAA? Because that dictates what I get to say and what I don't get to say. I see a guy with his hands up. That's all I have. No, honestly, this is the first thing I've ever been to where people have come up to me and been really nice to me and recognized me. And the kids, Luke and Katie, I got to fly with these kids. And that guy, it's been an absolutely amazing thing, and I don't know how I ended up in a position where I call some of you guys my peers. I know you don't call me your peer. But just to be able to hang out with some of these people who are amazing creators, content creators, videographers, storytellers, and somehow all I've been doing is trolling the aviation community for 2 years, and I get to come up here and do this, and it's a blast, man. Thank you so much for putting this on. This is awesome. I'm so humbled. Thank you guys.
Brian, we said 30 seconds. You'll see your time limitation. We're going to have to talk to you about that later. Thank you again. Here's your very small award. It's a very small award. It's a handshake. Just plain silly. Subscribe to his channel. He's got a great deal. It's really funny.
Click this link to see the most recent video upload. Click this link to see a video that YouTube thinks you might like. Click this link to subscribe to my channel.